Coinbase will buy $500 million in crypto and invest 10% of all future profits in digital assets. CEO Brian Armstrong expects the percentage of profit spent on cryptos to grow over time. I suppose we should just start with the most important question. Why haven't they been doing this already? Stefan Kinsella, what do you think about Coinbase and their plans to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, I suppose, with 10% of their future profits?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. I think the article said they had been accumulating cash, a few billion, for some kind of purchase or some kind of contingency plans, but I guess they decided to go ahead and put some of it into Bitcoin. So they're getting into the corporate the treasury strategy too. But I think it's also good advertising and good PR. And also, their business depends upon there being a healthy crypto ecosystem. So they're already betting that crypto and Bitcoin will go up in value over time. So you might as well take advantage of that bet and double down on the bet. So I think it's a good idea. I think 10% is good. I think that the article mentions that they could increase that percentage over time. So I think this is all part of the wave of adoption. Even insiders are going to start adopting it more.
Everybody I know is trying to get their hands on some Bitcoin, and Coinbase is stacking cash. Joshua Shigala.
It's like there's companies like BitPay, for instance, have always been long crypto. They've always held bags of it. It's surprising. I guess one of the things that Coinbase had to deal with was all the regulation and the regulatory oversight that they have to deal with to get floated on the stock exchange. I don't know if that had something to play with. That had something to do with them not holding too much crypto on the balance sheets. So, having a responsible fiduciary duty might have been part of that. But in hindsight, it would have been very, very profitable, hold a lot more.
I'm pretty sure when the price goes up, you can see the dollar signs and their legs lift off the ground for those guys from Blockstream. I think they're holding a lot. Dan, Eve, your thoughts on Coinbase suddenly starting to hold crypto?
It's kind of strange that they haven't been, holding all along, right? They've been taking not just Bitcoin for a while, which they probably should have been stacking, right? Not just kind of converting it into fiat, but they've taken a load of other shit coins for a long time. So you'd think that with the fees, they would have been slowly racking up little portfolios. Interesting that they're going to use 10% of the 10% of profits to buy. So I wonder whether they'll market buy off their platform. They did say that when they sell, they won't dump on their own their own customers, which would be really nice of them. I think they said they do it via OTC, etc., like deals. But that there's I don't know, like there's it's gonna, I don't know, I think it's a good thing that obviously they're holding more Bitcoin, but it's just a really confusing thing that they built up such a huge cash position when you'd be bullish on your own model, right, which is like Bitcoin. So maybe, I don't know, maybe Brian was actually quite doubtful of Bitcoin all along, that it was, he was running some giant gimmick platform, and he was like, no, I'll stack this fiat just in case it doesn't map out. But I don't know, maybe it's a good thing that, well, it's definitely a good thing that they're going to be holding on to a bit more Bitcoin. But it'd be interesting to see if they publish like what their holdings of shitcoins and stuff is eventually, for transparency purposes.
By the way, on the article, it links to bitcointreasuries.net to show the chart of holdings. And I found it interesting that the number one holder is MicroStrategy. But I don't know if you noticed, they call it MacroStrategy. Now, I don't know if that's a stupid typo or some kind of inside joke, like it's a macro strategy. But it's hard to believe that they actually got the number one holder on their very chart, the typo there. Okay, not everyone's good at spelling, but if you're not good at spelling, hire someone who is.
Maybe it's a sign. You're right. Or it's some sort of in joke about the fact that it's part of the macro vision, right? It's a micro vision, but I like it.
Yeah,
well spotted.
Yeah, it's probably a bad joke, but what I like about this story is we get to go back and say once again that Coinbase is stealing another company's strategy, but this time they're stealing all of the Bitcoiners' strategy. All of the Bitcoiners were like, hodl your coins. Don't keep them in Coinbase. I don't know if they're doing that part of it. I like the way that Dan said they're not going to buy and sell them on Coinbase because, that's a ripoff. So it's a just really interesting story. They could have had a gigantic Bitcoin treasury by now. I don't know why they don't. It doesn't make any sense. But moving on to the exit question, what company, could be anything, could be pizza delivery, what company will Coinbase go after next and steal their strategy? Let's see. Dan Eve, what strategy will Coinbase steal next?
That's a very good question. Right. I think they're maybe they'll do a Tesla, and they'll be like, oh, actually, like Brian Greeny's going to grow his hair. He'll end up like, next time you see him, he'll have loads of long flowing hair in kind of dreads, and he'll be like, oh, I've turned away from Bitcoin because of the fact that it's not so green. And then everyone will, like, he would have sold all his Bitcoin in the background, and Coinbase would have sold all this Bitcoin, and they would have dumped before it happened, and then bought it back up, and then he suddenly shaves his head and he's like, no, screw it, I'm back into Bitcoin again. So maybe, I don't know, I'm going for Tesla in some sort of weird, crazy anti-fantasy.
See, I think they'll go after Jamba Juice. I think they've always wanted to be into blenders, and they've wanted to have different ingredients and fruits. It's also a very non-political business. Coinbase doesn't like you to discuss politics at work. So they're going to want to avoid, monetary policy or government work or pretty much anything in this world that has something to do with politics. So they just want to keep it simple, have those fresh juices, strawberries, bananas. They could name a smoothie after Brian Armstrong. Joshua Shigala, what business will Coinbase go into next?
Naturally, they'll go after Vaultoro, where you can trade gold and Bitcoin and silver and some other crap coins back to gold. But Bitcoin and gold, it's an amazing thing because gold can be fully insured and audited. Why do you want to bank? Why do you want to go between Bitcoin and fiat? Why do you want to hedge the volatility in fiat? Like, sell the high so you can buy the dip. Why would you want to do that in fiat and trust a bank that's only insured to 100K or 200K, I think in America, 250, what is it? Anyway, it's probably not even insured, but the insurance companies just couldn't even handle if there was a major, like it would drive a massive inflationary wedge if they did have to pull that insurance card out. But why? Gold, it's a block of metal sitting in a vault. You can count it, you can insure it, and you can insure it all the way up to however much you want, because it's just a block of metal. And it's the second most liquid market in the world under the FX market. Don't trade in and out of this nonsense fiat crap. If you're serious about selling some crypto because you think it's too high, get it into gold. That's why I started Vaultoro, and that's why I like it, and that's why Coinbase will take it.
Spoiler alert, after Coinbase steals Josh's company's strategy, which they will call themselves the first ever to do it, they will begin shocking. I know this is shocking, everyone. They will begin holding gold. Yes, holding gold as a percentage of their profits. It's something that Brian Armstrong has just invented right now. Stefan Kinsella, they're going into Jamba Juice. They're going to make Tesla cars, and they're going to take over Josh's business. What else can Coinbase do? They certainly can't be original.
Well, I was going to say, as long as they don't steal their customers' money, who cares what business idea they steal? But on the other hand, we don't want them to steal the business model.
That's the ultimate spoiler alert. Coinbase goes into the criminal business and takes everyone's money.
Yeah, we lost it. We don't know. You don't want them to
horrible boating accident, disaster.
Yeah, Mt. Gox #2. You don't want them to steal the business model of IBM and InChain by just acquiring patents and becoming a patent troll. So let's hope they don't steal that business model. I don't know. Maybe they'll compete with or they'll pull a Richard Branson, a SpaceX, and get a rocket in outer space and say Bitcoin to the moon.